Please go ahead and start White's clock.
Fabiano, it sounded like in your post-game interview that you were a little bit worried toward the end of this game. Was that the first time all tournament you got in a worrisome position?
No, what I was only worried about was that I declined a draw before, and I was starting to regret it a bit because I wasn't playing for a win anymore. But the position should be very drawish, and I wasn't so worried. But if he had played on, I mean, I would have started to defend, which isn't so pleasant after the game has been so easy.
You don't seem to fear anyone, nor do you seem to hold your competitors in contempt. People view you as being very modest. How are you able to balance those two viewpoints?
Okay, but I'm not really being modest. They are all great players, but I can still beat them. I mean, there's always a chance, and I mean, if I just play over the board, I don't see. I mean, they have to play better than me. If they don't, then I won't lose.
Growing up, were you always fearless about your opponents, or is that something that you had to learn, some kind of sports psychology thing?
Well, I went through different periods. Sometimes having too much respect for higher-rated players, and sometimes declining draws with no objective basis to do so. But now I think I more or less balanced my play, and I play more or less objectively.
Do you feel like the world number 2 right now?
It's hard to say. I don't know what the world number 2 feels like. I feel like I played well in this tournament, but there's still next tournament. So,
Are you the same person that you were 2 weeks ago?
I think so.
Do you feel like you'll be treated a little bit differently after this performance?
Well, maybe my opponents. Well, I mean, maybe they'll treat me a bit differently over the board, but to be honest, I think they already respected my play, and maybe a bit more so now. But I don't think anything's really changed.
Where would you put this tournament's place in history?
It's not for me to say. There have been a lot of great performances, and I think this is a great performance. I don't know if it's the greatest, probably not, but it's definitely up there. It's one of the best, I think.
How do you react, though, when people start comparing this to Karpov in '94 and all the other allusions to famous performances in the past?
Okay, I mean, we're comparing tournament victories, which are a bit different because match victories are always more difficult. And I would say Fischer's demolition of Taimanov and Larson is definitely much more impressive than either my win or Karpov's win. And, well, I mean, I'm still very proud of my achievement.
Was Fischer a big influence on your study growing up?
Yeah, I studied his games quite a lot. He was arguably the greatest player ever. But okay, arguments could maybe be made for other world champions as well. But in any case, definitely one of the greatest.
A few rounds ago, you said that you don't particularly care for nicknames, but a lot have been created for you on the internet. Are there any you particularly care for or loathed?
I don't really know if I've seen them, but I don't like nicknames so much. But okay, if people want to call me something, then they're free to.
Well, Maurice asked you a personal question, so I'll ask you a little bit lighter one. What is your drink of choice?
Probably water. It's a bit boring, but okay.
The drink of champions. It worked for you this event, and thanks very much for your time.